Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about yesterday's 2-2 draw against Man United. I guess the first thing to say is you can either see it one of two ways. Was it a point gained or 2 points dropped? I guess before the game, a lot of people, and this is what I've seen anyway, before the game there was a lot of people talking about how this could be a difficult one for us. Manchester United, Old Trafford, difficult place to go, a team that's not performing very well but have a good record against us, and so on and so forth. And so a draw here would be a good result. But most people were kind of saying, think we can win, but it would be a really good result to get something out of this game. And then watching the game, and you see us come away with a draw, and a lot of people were disappointed. They're going, well, we should have won the game, Man United are shit, and blah, 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 and all the rest of it. So, as I've said previously, try to be a little bit more pragmatic and a little bit more level-headed about the whole overall situation, and kind of decide what I think rather than being influenced by anybody else. So, for me, in my prediction, I predicted that we would win 3-2. I felt that we had enough in us to be able to score enough goals, but I didn't think that we would get away with not having any goals scored against us. I think Man United are going through a difficult time, but they are a club with a big, strong history. They have a good situation at Old Trafford where you don't always get the results that you would want, or the decisions that you would want, and so on, if you're reading between the lines. So I always feel that there's, it was going to be tough, but I thought that we could win it. But then ultimately, when you look at it, we went behind twice and we came back twice. And when we did that, we actually managed to get ourselves a result. Do I think we could have won the game? Yeah, we probably could. There were opportunities, and we probably could have done better with a bit more belief. But, coming away from that game after being behind twice in the game, feels like we got a bit of a result there, because it could have been so different. Højlund and Rashford have been struggling for goals. We know that. So it was a dot on the card that those guys were going to score against us, because that's what happens, especially when you get the curse of the commentator talking about Rashford not scoring for God knows how long and at home, or not scoring a goal at home for however long. And so, of course, he was going to score. So ultimately for me, I think it's great to come away from there not losing, because I've seen us go there many, many times and lose many, many times, undeservedly sometimes. But, to get a result of sorts is a positive. It keeps our unbeaten record going, keeps our run going, and keeps the momentum and the belief in the team and in the squad. So, positives out of the game. Excuse me. Excuse me. Positives out of the game. Udogie, I thought, had a really, really good game. Garnacho is a decent player, and to kind of keep him as quiet as he did, I thought was really, really good for the young lad. Heart stopped when he headed back towards the goal and hit the post. Not sure what he was thinking there, whether he was trying to play it out or whether he thought he was playing it back to Vicario or not. But apart from that, I didn't think he did too much wrong. The penalty shout, I mean, I've got to be honest. If I'm trying to be level-headed about it, I think if he hadn't thrown himself to the floor in the manner that he did, there is every opportunity or every probability that could get given. And I know that'll be a little bit controversial, but I think if you're putting your arms around somebody and they go towards the ball and you're clearly moving them back, then that's going to be, that could be given a penalty. We saw it not so long ago, a couple of games ago with Kulusevski, where he pulled a player back, and you could see it on his shirt, and he ended up giving a penalty away. So it's not, you know, outside the realms of belief that that could have happened. And this is Old Trafford, don't forget. So he may have got away with one a little bit there. There wasn't a lot in it. You know, I'll give you that. There wasn't a lot in it. It's stupid that those sorts of things have become penalties these days. But they do. They do get that sort of thing. So, yeah. But apart from that, I thought he had a really good game. Sometimes he was playing almost like a centre forward or creative midfield player. He was everywhere. And for a young lad, I thought it was, you know, outstanding in great pace and great commitment to get in the defensive third when he needed to from the positions that he was playing in. Other positives, Bentancur's goal, I thought really good goal. Made Evans think he was going to go one way, he went the other. Beautifully taken. Great timing as well, right at the beginning of the second half. I said to Del, who watches my videos, he messaged me and said, you know, we're struggling here. And I said to him, we need the next goal. The next goal is going to be the one that makes the difference. If you go 3-1 down, then that's a whole different story. So we needed that goal, and to get it as early as we did, I thought was really cool. Bentancur, I thought he was you know, immense yesterday. I thought he played really well. And bear in mind, you know, he's not been back that long, and to be playing at that level, you know, he's so calm and cool on the ball. You know, again, thought I thought it was a real positive. I felt that Porro had a really good game as well. Apart from in the first half, I felt he was overrun. I felt Rashford give him a real run for his money, and defensively he was out of position a fair bit, and had to kind of get back and make those last ditch attempts to block and so on. But overall, I thought he grew into the game. I thought offensively he was really good. You know, played some great balls in and played really well overall. But I say first sort of half, I felt that he was probably the weak link, and of course there's all sorts of problems down that right hand side. Again, positives, having Van der Ven back, having Romero back. Defensively, you know, great to have that there. But you have to remember that these guys have been out for a while, so there was always going to be a bit of rust in that, and a bit of worry. And I get that a lot's been made, and we've talked about it in our Dorset Spurs WhatsApp group about Romero putting his hands behind his back when trying to make tackles and stuff, and that was been attributed to one of the reasons why Højlund got his goal, because he's running towards him, didn't get there quick enough, and obviously didn't get the blocking. I'm not sure about that, whether it would have made a difference, but this thing about having your hands behind your back, that's driven by the fact that soft penalties are being given, and have been given, against Romero for having his hands out and stuff. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't in that situation. So I don't blame him for putting his hands behind his back, but I mean, it's ridiculous that players have to do that to prove they're not trying to handle the ball. I mean, that's not a handball for me. Handball is when you're putting your hand out to stop the ball going somewhere, or it hits your hand when it shouldn't be, when it's in an unnatural position, depending on what you're doing. I think it's just really, it's always going to be a controversial subject. It's one you could probably make a whole video about with graphics and everything, which I'm not good at, so I'm not going to bother with that. But again, for me, my biggest worry, I've got to be honest, when I saw the team was the midfield. Obviously, there's no Maddison in there, which we knew. There's no Lo Celso, who, and I've got to be honest, I'm not his biggest fan. I don't think he gives enough. I think he does it well in fits and starts. I don't think he does it consistently enough. I think his injury record is appalling as well. But you needed someone with some creativity in there. So with both of those out, you would hope that Kulu would be able to come in, but he was ill. So that kind of left us with Skip and Højbjerg in there. And luckily we did have Bentancur, because obviously we've got Bissouma out, Sarr out, both at the African Cup of Nations as well. So it leaves you very, very short. I mean, we didn't even have enough players to name a full bench. So, I mean, that tells you everything, really. And so I was worried about that. Skip, I've been quite non-complimentary about, shall we say, critical even, about him falling over a lot and becoming Oliver Slip rather than Oliver Skip. So I've been a little bit disappointed with him, but I have to say, credit where it's due. I thought yesterday he was pretty solid and did really, really well. I can't really fault him. Højbjerg, who I've always been quite sort of strong of, you know, I feel he's a good professional and a decent player who doesn't do too much wrong, works hard for the team and stuff. But yesterday I felt he was poor. I thought his passing was really loose, kind of, you know, playing the ball blind and stuff like that. He lost the ball on numerous occasions. And that was a real worry for me. I was really concerned about it. But there isn't anybody else to bring in that position that's really proven or whatever that you can have in that team. So yeah, for me, I felt he was a bit of a worry yesterday. But again, going back to the positives, Werner got his first start. Didn't do too much wrong, but hasn't played football for a while. Only trained a couple of times with the team, needs to bed in. I felt he could probably do a bit more with his pace, which we told is his big asset. Didn't do enough for me from that point of view, kind of taking Dalla on. I think he probably could have done a bit more on that. But he did absolutely gain an assist in his first game, which you can't complain about. At the end of the day, that's what he's there for, in the position that he was playing. So, you know, did real well from that point of view. And then, of course, you had Dragoshin coming in and playing for the sort of last sort of 10 minutes, 20 minutes or so. Again, not too much to call out from that point of view, because obviously we haven't seen enough of him. But good to have that option off the bench, especially with Van der Ven, then having the issue with cramp and so on. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I can't complain too much. I think if we'd have been a little bit more positive and a little bit more, had a little bit more belief in ourselves, we probably could have got something out of that game other than a draw. We probably could have gone for a win. But I'm always going to take a result like that at Old Trafford, where historically we don't have a good record, and, you know, we know how the refs and that play that game up there. So it is what it is. I'm happy to an extent. I think it's a good one to go into this little mini break with, and hopefully by the end of it we'll have Maddison back as well, and that'll kind of bring us something, and Kulu back, and so on, and a bit more time for the players to gel and to develop and stuff. So overall, I don't think you can fault it, and I think, you know, Ten Hag will be disappointed. He's at home. I know that, and they've got players out as well, to be fair, but not players, in my view, that are as critical to that team as maybe ours are. I don't know. That's a point to argue, I guess. But yeah, so as I say, happy-ish with the draw, happier with the performance, happier with getting Van der Ven and Romero back, happy for Werner to come in, happy for Dragoshin to get on the pitch and get a few minutes in. So a lot of positives to take from that. So all good. Apologies for all the coughing. I've got a bit of a cough. I can't seem to get rid of it. It's driving me mad. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate the support. And I'll speak to you again on the next one. Up the Spurs.